Putin has just made a move that could reshape geopolitics in Central Asia. Russia has become the first country in the world to formally recognize the Taliban government in Afghanistan. More than 2 decades after fighting them as enemies, Moscow now calls them allies. So what does this recognition actually mean for Afghanistan and for the world? Let's get to the latest. As Russia became the first major power to officially recognize the Taliban since they seized power in 2021, today the flag of Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan replaced the state symbol of the Islamic Republic of Afghanistan on the facade of the country's embassy in Moscow. So the Russian move basically represents a major milestone for the Taliban as it seeks to ease its international isolation. The Russian Foreign Ministry announced it had received credentials from Afghanistan's newly appointed ambassador to Moscow. And this comes after Russia removed the Taliban from its list of banned terror organizations earlier this year. Afghanistan's foreign minister welcomed Moscow's decision, calling it a positive step forward. Listen to this.
We have sent our diplomats to those countries of the world where we have embassies. Secondly, those countries accept our ambassadors, including Russia. Now, as our recognition process has started and Russia has become the first, we hope this series will continue. We welcome this and it is a positive step forward. This will further enhance our relationship with Russia.
Now, remember, the Taliban regained control of Afghanistan after the chaotic withdrawal of the US and NATO troops in 2021. And since then, they have ruled with their strict interpretation of Islamic law, banning girls from education beyond 6th grade, barring women from most jobs, and closing public spaces like parks, gyms to them. This Russian recognition is historic for another reason. It comes nearly 35 years after Soviet troops ended their bloody decade-long occupation of Afghanistan. Back then, Moscow was fighting the Mujahideen, some of whom formed the Taliban's ideological roots. And now Russia calls the Taliban an ally in fighting terrorism and drug trafficking. The Kremlin says it will expand cooperation in energy, transport, agriculture, infrastructure. The Russian officials saying the Taliban will be key partners in countering ISIS-K, the group that killed over 130 people in a Moscow concert hall attack last year and bombed the Russian embassy in Kabul in 2022. And the Taliban says it is working to wipe out the presence of the Islamic State in Afghanistan. In fact, China has welcomed Russia's decision, calling Afghanistan a traditional friendly neighbor. Beijing said it has never cut diplomatic ties with Kabul, even after the Taliban takeover. While countries like China, Pakistan, the UAE have accepted Taliban ambassadors, none had formally recognized their government until today. And for Afghan women, Russia's move could actually legitimize a regime that has systematically tried to erase their rights. Critics say Moscow has prioritized strategic interests over human rights and international law. The Taliban remain largely isolated on the global stage, the United States, in fact, maintaining a firm red line on recognition due to their treatment of women and girls. But diplomatic activity has been picking up. China, for that matter, plans to extend its economic corridor to Afghanistan. India has also resumed visas for Afghan citizens, and Germany is in talks to strike a deputation deal with the Taliban. The Taliban hope Moscow's decision will start a domino effect. But for now, Russia stands alone as the first country since 2001 to formally recognize the Taliban's Islamic Emirate. From fighting the Taliban as enemies to recognizing them as allies, Russia's latest move is a historic shift, a major move, and a stark reminder that in geopolitics, there are no permanent friends or enemies, only permanent interests.